Why? Pourquoi la vie? Hi guys! Tu veux-tu dire bonjour aux amis? Non. T'as-tu terminé avec le bureau, toi? Je vais fermer la porte. Alright, I think I'm all set. Hello guys. Hi, just your average young artist. Hi Lana. Hi Jill. Hi Kevin. Hi Amisha. Hi Mikey. Hi. I'm super tired today, as you could probably figure out from the title. So I made a coffee with maple syrup in it, but the thing is that I really don't like sweetened hot drinks. So this is like a cold coffee with maple syrup and coconut milk because I don't have any creamer anymore. Dairy-free creamer, mind you. And yeah, you heard Mr. E declining to say hello. He's a bit of a shy dude. And he doesn't have like many years of streaming to abolish the shyness. Yeah, so many things lying around. I finally received my my storage flat file to put all my palettes in. So I kind of have to film a video about that eventually. But the main consequence of having that, besides finally having space to put all my my palettes in, is that I had to do a great big bout of cleanup, and now I can't find anything anymore. So I'm always like hunting for something, and hi Lee, hi Lise, hi Sarah. I remember as a kid I loaded my tea with sugar, but looking back, that's so nasty. Given, yeah, I mean, as a kid, even like it depends on the person. Like Mr. E still enjoys, like he can drink a hot cocoa with sugar in it, and it's fine. But if I drink the same hot cocoa, it just feels weird, and I don't like it. So I usually make my hot cocoa with no sugar in them, and I kind of like it better. Did the syrup mix into the cold coffee, or is it all... Maybe it's lurking at the bottom of the cup and I'm gonna be super hyper later on. Oh, Hobonichi hoarder. Mine just shipped. Oh yeah, you saw my, what do you call those? Writing board? It's the first time, like, this is not my first hobo. I have many Hobonichi. But it's the first time that I really like the colors of the writing boards. Like, for once they're not brown or you know, some kind of color that is a bit too lackluster. This one is orange and yellow. Hey Patricia! Hi Lucine! So yeah, it's orange. And the accent is this sunny yellow that I love so much recently. A pencil board, thank you so much. But yeah, this is just the odd thing because I like to order from a local shop. It's called Wonder Pens. It's in Toronto. And I saw that they had this absolutely gorgeous collector's edition Kawako pen, and I love those. I have tiny hands, so that's not an issue, and you can post them, and they're super nice, super comfy. They write really well. So I was like, huh. So I got this, I got cartridges, and I got a colorful pencil board at the same time. Hold on, what is a Hobonichi? It's a planner. Hobonichi is the company, actually, and they have two main formats. Hold on. Hi Cyan, hi Sally. It's a Japanese planner with a cult following. Pretty much. Hey Fairy Dust. Hey Tsukabu. Hi guys. Hold on, let me. Oh yeah, I have some really cool ones around here. I don't actually have a real Hobonichi around, in the sense that I don't have the planner. So the two main formats are, there are three formats. There are A6, A5, and this one. This one is the weeks. So, oops. So that's an older weeks from 2018, but I use the blank pages as just for notes, and it has a cat on it, so you know why. But you have one page of the days and one page for notes. And this is the A5. I don't have any. See, that's what I mean. Brown, burgundy. I'm like, what? Give me some happy colors. And yeah, for this one I just got a notebook because I tend to skip days when I have a planner, and I didn't want to pay for the day-free one. So yeah, basically the whole concept is you buy an insert, which is kind of a small book that you put in there, and you buy your cover depending on which ones strike your fancy, and then you can also buy this plastic cover if you want to keep your cover like pristine. And you technically the idea is that when the year rolls around, you just buy a new insert, but they always come up with really gorgeous covers, and it's really difficult to resist them. They also have an A5 size one. I have one, I don't know where I put it because I cleaned up recently. Where did I put my cousin one? Oh, it's over there. Anyway, it's nice. It's a planner book. Hi, Fifiolin. Hi. How is the fountain pen? Fountain pen is awesome. I really love those. Like, I have three, I think. Yeah. This one has glue on it for some reason. Anyway. Sorry I missed the stream last week, but I got to spend the weekend with my granddaughter. That's awesome! Yay! Feeling a bit down, so I'm almost going to order some calicos. Why not? I mean, if you decide to get a sport, it's not really something that will set you back a lot. And I don't know, they're so cheerful and happy with all the colors available, and like they're so easy to use and comfy. Cover that strikes cat Ev's fancy chunky kitty. Of course, I mean, are you surprised? I try to always go with the kitty covers, but sometimes it's a tough balance act because they're not. Sometimes they don't really like. I mean, I would get it, but I'm like, sometimes something else calls to me, and I have to listen to that. Do I have a scrap piece of paper around? Oh yeah. So I put the smoky purple ink in this new one. And I like to get the medium nib. This paper is really bad for oh my gosh, it's so bad, the feathering. Hold on, let me grab the one of the appeals of the Hobonichi is that they have Tomoe River paper in them, which basically means that it's a paper that takes fountain pen ink generally really well. So let me grab a... And the ink is what is it? Summer purple, smoky purple, summer purple. And living proof that you don't need to have a really nice handwriting to use fountain pens. I ordered the A5 half-year set because I journal and draw in the daily pages. Work to-do lists go on the weekly page. Yeah, that's a good idea. It's so easy to... I mean, they have... Every new year they have new designs. And they always make an effort to make it fun collabs with artists and whatnot. So, it's hard. Yeah, the Tomoe River paper is super thin. It ghosts a lot, but it doesn't bleed through a lot with fountain pen ink. I'm doing my level best not to get hooked on fountain pen. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Hey Susan, hi! Do you eyedrop with them or do you prefer not to? I prefer not to. I don't trust myself when it comes to tinkering with the stuff. I don't think there's a residue on the nib. They've pretty much always have been like, I just pop a cartridge in there and I can use it right away. Unless you're talking about nib pens. Had some bad experience with Kaweco nibs. They are the only pens I recommend washing really, really well before filling. Oh, really? Do you mean the not the sport one, right? Hey Lee, hi. Okay, so next thing I wanted to showcase really quickly is this really cute stuff that I got this week. It took a bit of time to get here, but it's from one of my favorite artists. It's Mr. Toshinori Mori, and basically everything he does has cats in it. Always this cute calico and the black cat. And like this is not my first order over the years, and he sent me a bunch of postcards, and I love it so much. How cute is everything? I mean, honestly. Oh, I can't. It's so cute. Hey, Steven, hi. Hold on, let me put this back in there. Ugh, I can do it. Nope, I can't. And like a really cute custom note. And yeah, I got a really basic badge, some washi tape, this bag in the best color ever, and this print, because I saw that one and I was like, this makes me so happy just to look at it. And it has kind of like a torty here and a peck over here. So I was like, oh, and I melted. Yeah, it's Sydney. But yeah, I mean, I would have to dig up for them, but I have quite a bunch of items. I think my first order must easily go back like a long time ago. And like perhaps once a year I go back to check his store, and he always has new drawings on and new things up, and such a nice fellow, and he has cats, and he takes care of cats, and he draws cats. The name, is there a way I can show it? It's probably not gonna show super well, but his name is Toshinori. Is that it? Toshinori Mori. So Toshinori, and Mori is Mori. His art is all labeled under the name Tabineko. He's got a shop on Etsy, and I've seen some of his postcards available on Cute Things from Japan. I could not jump into your own. I don't know. I can't. But yeah, like such a feel good kind of art too. Yeah, Toshinori Mori. Thank you so much for your dust. So that's it for the the mailbag section of the stream. Should grab my sketchbook, I guess. Don't all fall down, please. Hey, Nicole, hi. I drew salmons yesterday. And it's cold, but I'm still getting sweaty. Hold on, I gotta take off my long sleeve shirt. It's not even that warm, but I generate way too much heat. Oh. Blah. Mostly okay, but I am tired AF. Yeah, that's the general vibe. How was everyone this week? How tired? Called pens, 2 Kawakos in the card, but I'm like, extra fine, comfort zone, or italics? I wouldn't be able to provide any counsel on that because I don't like super thin fountain pen nibs. I like them a bit chunkier because first of all you get to see more of the color of the ink, and usually they are less scratchy. Hey, Boxapaint, hi. All right. So busy, deadly tired. I had such a nap yesterday. Before or after the live stream? Oh no, Tsukabu. Yeah, good grief. I don't want to sort of bring the mood down too much, but yeah, the fires are really hold on, I'm trying to find a word in English. Worrying. Like it's beyond worrying. Also now I'm trapped in bed by a certain grief rebel. Aww. I'm fully accepted into college now. The only thing... Oh, that's great. Congrats. That makes me think, with Lee being stuck under a grave for a ball, Scout has developed a really curious behavior. And I nap after live stream. You mentioned nap towards the end and planted it. I'm sorry I had to leave early, but I was unable to queue up 2 thoughts and link them together. And I was like, oh, this is time for a bit of downtime for me. Great this week, Patricia says. I'm launching into reteaching myself to knit and crochet. Yes! I'm left-handed and forgot that I knit right-handed though. Crochet left-handed. Really? Wow. I love to crochet, but I'm right-handed, so it's kind of easy. So yeah, okay, so Scout has developed a new behavior in a way, which seems to be in reaction to the fact that sometimes when I sleep or fall asleep, I don't know how to describe it, but I make noises, like loud noises. It's either from being unable to breathe properly because of various things, or because of the kind of dreams that I have. And yeah, so Scout, if she's with us at that when that happens, she has started to sort of climb on my chest to wake me up. Like she will walk on me and sit down on my, well, usually she loafs, so not really sitting down, but you know, the cat loaf. Hold on, this is Scout, so she needs to be chunkier. So she will loaf on me with her big eyes, and until I wake up, and when I wake up, she usually leaves. She goes back to sleeping on Mr. E. So I'm like, wait, okay, so is that because she's like, Mom, you're loud, I want to sleep, shut up, or something else? But it's really funny. It's totally okay. I've drifted in and out of Caturday many times. Yeah, oh my gosh. That is lovely that Scout cares. I don't know if she cares or if she's annoyed. I think that's a bit left to interpretation, but both options are possible. She wants to make sure you're not in distress. Yeah, I think she's a bit puzzled about the noises. I don't know if well, it's not Pico. Pico is sort of our more happy-go-lucky cat, while Scout is a bit more kind of able to connect ideas together. Hey, Annette, hi! The scene from The Cat's Eye from the 80s. I haven't seen that. But yeah, it's kind of good. And also, I appreciate that she wakes me up so that I can find a better position for sleep and not wake up like Mr. E or someone else. My mother-in-law's old cat used to chitter whenever someone sneezes. That's so cute. Aww. I crochet both hands. I learned left-hand way because in elementary school we had one boy that was left-handed and our teacher couldn't teach him to crochet. I wanted to help him. Aww. You're left-handed, Cyan, right? Are you? Hey, Alex! Cats are not allowed in the bed, so every time we leave the room they try to dart into the... Yeah, ours do that too, but they're allowed in the bedroom now. It was a bit more difficult when they were younger because young cats are a lot more mischievous. And even if mine are mischievous still and they really know what to do to wake us up, they are a bit more quiet now. And it would be kind of an issue before because we would try and close the door and leave the cat out of the room for the night, but Scout would meow at the door forever. And she would scratch at it, which is a bit like nails on a chalkboard. And it was impossible. She was really annoying about that. So at some point we were like, okay, let's try this out. Let's just leave the door open and see what she will do. And usually what they do now is that we leave the door open, Scout comes to sleep on her dad most of the time. Pico does her cat things. And eventually when they get hungry, they start like flipping the trash bin and being noisy. So I get up, I feed them, and then I close the door, and they leave us like they let us sleep for most of the rest of the night. Cat's Eye was a Stephen King movie of short stories and the old wives' tales about cats stealing children's breath, but it's actually protecting them from a little troll. Nice! Good kitties! Dante is not allowed into bed, but he's allowed to put his head on the bed. So he Aww. I'm an official cat lady now. This morning I found a piece of cat nail in my hair. They don't sleep in our bedroom. We have a screen door so they can see us. Oh, that's clever. Oh, Cyan is right-handed. Okay. So you kind of learn to crochet with both hands, or do you learn to use both hands regardless of crochet or not? Mom, Dad, mostly Dad, I think. He always tells me that I'm exaggerating, but Scout really, really loves her dad. She's always sitting on him, sleeping next to him. It's really cute. When we dog sat my parents' dog, we didn't know they don't allow him on the bed. We find out right quick when he tested us, and then had the jumping on bed party when we didn't kick him. We got a tester Velcro cat screen for the windows, and it has been amazing. Or rather, one is a tester. So hold on, do you put it in the windows or do you put it in the sort of the door area of your room? Dante is polite. Dante is such a gentleman. Do you have any special stream plans today? I think I'm just gonna see if I can draw the idea I had yesterday that got me drawing salmons. I basically drew, I've been drawing a lot of Viking cats recently in my sketchbook. And I wanted to draw like a Viking cat that's releasing a fish into the water. And yeah, I was explaining to Mr. E why I was drawing salmons. And I was telling him, I don't know if you can see, maybe. But I was telling him that whenever I default draw a fish, it's usually that. Like, it's the general idea of a fish, but it's not an actual fish. So I was like, yeah, maybe I should learn to draw some fishes at least. And the first one that came to mind is salmon. And I gotta say, sockeye salmons are really weird. Big golden aw. Crochet and knitting I know both ways, needed to practice both. I learned knit and crochet when I was really young, like 4 years old. Wow. Learned left-handed way on school for the aw. That's so sweet. Aw. So Lee says my parents just got one of those chip activated cat doors and Laura, the cat, apparently knows how it works, but is very adamant that they continue to get the door for her manually. I think there might be a part of it so that she's like, okay, Mom, Dad, I'm going out. You're letting me out, so you know I'm out. Don't leave without me, please. Salmons are not cute fish. Yeah, they're not. The female salmon is a bit less weird. Like, she has less odd nooks and crannies and less of that weird beak thing, but yeah. Made me feel bad about occasionally eating fish. It's difficult. I find it really difficult to study animals that are often eaten. Because it's kind of I think the only way most of us can eat meat is in a sense that we forget where it comes from just for the moment of eating it. So seeing where it comes from sometimes can be a bit more problematic. Also, she also just wants company. Yeah. Oh, sorry. That means I need more coffee. Sorry. I laughed and choked in my coffee. So Ruka is not allowed in bed. He really wants to. But if I let him, it really gets into his head and Ruka starts to be really bossy. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but Ruka looks like he weighs about as much as you do, Cyan. So if he tries to boss his way around the bed, I don't think you're gonna win. Tsukabu says, Salmons used to freak me out when I was young. And Alex says, when our kitties were little, we put the doggy door in our bedroom door so we could still use AC. In the bedroom, you mean? I still have pictures of Didi looking so offended as we were teaching them to use it. They both were just like, how dare you? Ah, that's sweet. Yep, that is exactly why I have the gate on my bedroom door. He was basically claiming my bed. So, oh my gosh. My family always hunted and fished, so I never had a disconnect as to where food comes from. But I try really hard not to waste it because I know how much work it takes to catch for it. That's a very interesting point, Misha. You're kind of fortunate in that regard because you have that connection about this stuff and you understand it better. But I think for most people, like sometimes we've all seen the memes and the thing where someone is like I'm trying to find an example in English that's a bit of a brain twister, but like someone would say, oh, steak comes from beef, and you're kind of like, yeah, it does. Neuron understands doorknobs. It is a problem. Yeah, is it the like the lateral doorknobs that you just have to press down that way? Or is it actually like a... Well, you said doorknobs, so I guess it's the round ones. Yes, we wanted AC in bedroom without cooling entire 3. Yeah. Patricia says Sydney's ginger long hair friend has a thing around her neck that lets her in and out of her people's house and can't sort out why she can't get in there. He's here at 5 a.m. and I'm feeding him now. Wait, that's weird. So the cat doesn't get how to go back home, right? I don't think ginger cats are the sharpest tool in the sheds in general. Your pets are so clever. Well, some of them are. Our last dog, Cosmo, was allowed at the end of my bed. Sometimes he'd try to sleep next to me and I'd say, okay, fine. Aww. Then he'd slowly push against the wall to push me out of the bed to claim it as his own. Oh my gosh. Smooth. So he understands both, but round doorknobs he doesn't have the grip for usually, except orders are old and don't latch well. Uh-huh. Sorry. Susan says, I try not to waste any food, especially meat or fish. An animal had to die for me to eat meat. The least I can do is making sure it wasn't for nothing. Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, it used to be more known that what you could do with the bones and the sort of leftovers for of meat, like say you have a whole chicken, you cook it in the oven, you eat the meat, and then you make stock with the bones, and make the best of it. Hey Alexandra, hi. Liz says our smartest cat was by far a ginger. Well, he's got to be the exception. Tsukebo says, I had a Himalayan Siamese long-furred mix who normally wasn't allowed on bed, but during storms we made an exception. Yeah. I can see why. Poor kitty. Knows to go home, but is not getting fed there. Showed up here one day very skinny. Oh my gosh, what? When I got the phone number of his tag, I called to see if he was lost. Nope, just old. Whoa. Why would they neglect him like that? Yeah, that's a really awesome thing to do, Patricia. Sign says, I heard from the shelter that the cat I saved yesterday has a new home waiting if she isn't getting picked after 30 days wait period. I'm so happy. That's great. She's gotta be in quarantine for a bit, right? Otto! Hi! Hello, sorry I'm late. I was dealing with stuff. No! What did I miss? Nothing in particular, I would say. I don't know. Hi! She was really tame. I got some cat food on plate and put plate 2 Bun care. Really big care. Oh, poor kitty. She must have been lost. Poor girl. Oh yeah, Lisa's saying, Mikey, thank you so much for sharing pictures of Olga. She is so cute. She's like a tiny ball of hamster. I love how hamsters, like when they sit down, they sort of like become like a blob a bit. I don't know how to describe the shape, but it really makes me laugh. They're so cute. Thanks guys, I could not feed him, plus it's such... Yeah. Ugh. I'm in a pong bang. This is gonna be a tough art day, I feel. Usually when I have a sketch, I don't really struggle to make the drawing on watercolor paper, but I feel like today is not gonna be that easy on me. Hamos did the mosh pose really well. Yeah, how is the gerbil gang? We haven't heard from the gerbils in a while, Otto. Sitting hammies are like little fuzzy spheres with tiny hands, and I will never be over them. I agree. It's so cute. Oh, they really do look like fuzzy little spheres. Ruby is getting cheeky because she knows she's cute and get away with it. We had progress with Judge. Took some seeds out of. Oh, that's good. Oh my god, back of a sat down hammy butt is the most adorable thing. Yes. Wow. Okay. Toucans. Oh my god, sorry, I thought I was googling something. Awesome. So this chat room has just become catch up with how everyone's pets are doing. Yeah, pretty much. I often do that, Kevin, with Twitter. I will try to search something on Google and I write it in Twitter like a tweet, and I always catch myself before I hit like post tweet, but I'm like, no wait, this is not Google. I miss having hamsters. I had 2 completely white dwarf hamsters, and they were brothers and lived their whole life together. Oh, which was really rare case. Oh, that's interesting. Toucans. Gee, good thing the word was toucans and not something else, Kevin. Can you imagine? We went into a pet shop today to pick up some hay for the gerbils. Let me tell you, we were this close to coming home with the hamo. Oh, which one? Which kind of hamo had sort of gotten on your radar? Reference images, yeah, that makes sense. Hey, Phoebe, hi. Excuse you. Ugh. They may had a oh, that must have been a bit difficult. Good grief. Hamels are so cute. Well, I will paint a toucan then with my new gouache. Hey, that's a great idea. My son is aiming for a hamsters. Sorry, I have to research cage options now. Well, you can also ask, maybe if you really can find good info. We have Otto and Mikey and I guess Cyan, and like there's a bunch of people in the community that have hamster experience. How did you make it out without that hammer? That's a very good question. Have you seen the size of our gerbil cage? The main one. We also of course have a jet cage. We don't have room for another cage. Because I learned from Dr. Otto that my cages were way too small. Oh! As big a cage as possible. Kevin, don't worry about it. That was really funny. I mean, unless you're Googling for stuff that could be embarrassing. I had Jazz in a slightly smaller cage and she was not happy. So I would say if you want to keep the hamster happy, get minimum 50 by 100 centimeters. That's a really good size cage, although I guess you mean Olga's cage is about 800-inch square, which is perfectly fine for a dwarf. Just be careful with the anatomy search. Oh, I know. Oh my gosh. There's been so much. I know. I've seen that happen many times. Like sometimes you search for stuff that is really, really like nothing, but then you realize that one of many things. Either there's a sexy version of it as a Halloween costume, and that's the first thing that comes up in search. There's an adult star with a name that kind of fit that search, or there's a band of music that has that name too. I would just not want one of them words like Uber Eats or toucans or otters. Or Rule 34 version. Oh yeah. Ugh. I was trying to find images, like renditions of Loki, the Norse god, the other day. And it's impossible to find anything because if you search Loki, all you get is Marvel's Loki. Which I love, but that was not what I was searching for, so... Oh my god, we're really wanting chinchillas after gerbils. Aw, chinchillas are so soft. I would like to have a golden retriever again. Big, fluffy, happy huggers. Aw. Well, apparently toucan beaks are only as strong as honeycomb. What? That's pretty soft. That's really, really soft, actually. Because honeycomb is made of wax, so it's kind of really, like, not sturdy at all, would be the way of putting it, I guess. Plop. Okay guys, wish me luck here. I just finished casting on left-handed the first row of this slouchy hat and about to start round 1 right-handed. So that's knitting, right? Gotta keep switching. Best of luck! Back with Dorito. You can always exclude search results. Yeah, that's what I tried to do. That's eventually what I think I wrote something like Loki and like mythology, and it was a bit better. But like I was still getting a lot of results from Magnus Chase and other things. So yeah. You know what? It's an excellent idea to knit while watching the stream, especially in the colder weather. For a cartoony Loki, Google Loki Valhalla Peter Madsen. Can we make Doritos the official snack of Caturday Livestream? I guess we can. I'm not a big Dorito fan, but I don't mind it if it's the snack. Oh no. So the other day I was cutting watercolor paper for swatches. Now I realized that some are upside down, so I have to see and feel every piece. Oh no. Guys, we created a Doritos fiend. Only if someone can ship us some salsa verde ones from home. I grew up on Peter Madsen's Valhalla comics and all of this stuff. Oh, I'll have to check it out, definitely. Cat hair devotional. There's always cat hair in there. I don't know what I was expecting with Doritos, but I was disappointed they were just glorified tortilla chips. It depends on the kind of Doritos, I would say, because I feel like the most legit, like what represents Doritos better is any variant that has cheese on it. Well, cheese, cheese powder, whatever you want to call it. They have some that are like don't have the cheese powder on it, and they're still tortilla chips, but I don't know why. I kind of that kind of feels like not like Doritos. So I don't know. I forgot to ask, but all the oh my god, I swear. Yeah, I saw it. I saw it. I almost sent it to you yesterday, but I was like, oh, this is just awful, But yeah, it's also the artist also drew the really terrible Spider-Woman cover, where she's, I mean, Marvel, don't ask an artist like who draws erotica to do your covers, please, because you're gonna get what you got. So I'm like, yeah, but yeah, I saw it, and I think like most people, I looked at the image, and the first thing I saw was like I've heard of this dude before, even before the Spider-Woman thing, because it's a bit easier for me being in French Canada to know about comic book stuff, because it gets imported over here. So yeah, and then when you sent me the picture, I was like, oh, that's another one of his stupid pin-ups, right? And then I saw the exact like setup of the image, and I was like, no, he didn't. Okay, so just to give a bit of context, I will try to. Okay, what? Oh yeah, but let's put the link. But basically, you have an image drawn by artist Milo Manara, and you have like a pin-up around here, like, I'm a pin-up and I wear a, like, we see my ribs and bloody who cares, okay? And she's like, you can see that she's like in the building and there's a window, and you're like, oh, okay, fine. And then you actually see like a plane in the window, and he drew that for 9/11. The 9/11. The actual 9/11. And it's probably one of the most awful things I've seen in terms of tone deaf, I will say. Hey, Paulo! And his whole justification for coming up with this is basically saying stuff like, oh, but you don't know the people that were in there, they had no idea that was coming, so you don't know what they were up to until that last fatal moment. And I'm like, dude, it's been almost 20 years and it's still too soon. Don't. Please, no. Oh. It's insanely not cool. It's just ghastly. I think the tweet actually comes with like someone say, what the actual F? Which is basically... And like, this was posted on Instagram, and in the description, you have a bunch of guys that, because I don't think I've seen a single comment supporting that written by a girl, but anyway, you have a bunch of guys in the same mindset, I would say, that are like, in support of this, and they don't, and I'm like, what? No, it could be 100 years from that event, and it'll be soon, definitely. Oh, that's a very good question, not Mikey. Ugh. I guess that's one of those things that they sort of put together more for the teachers rather than the kids. People in general often make me go, what the fuck? Yeah, definitely. And that dude, like a couple of years ago, had some there was some drama attached to him. I'll try to draw it, but it's really not cute and kind of raunchy. So he drew this image of Spider-Woman who is like this, and she's like super contorted, and she has her butt in the air. Let's draw a peach just like butt, but really like too much detail going on. And then she has like one leg that way and the other leg here, and it's just bad. And here there's like the top of a building, and everybody was like, what? But I mean, for that one, like, it was just bad idea to ask this artist who mostly does erotica to do a Marvel cover. That's just no. But this one is just a absolute fail. Take away the model figure and it would be something better at least. Yeah, but it would still be kind of it's kind of disconnected as a perspective, because like, even if you remove the like, it's like I don't need to see that. I understand what happened, and drawing something like that is kind of like, I don't think it's necessary, and to me it kind of shows a lack of empathy with what happened. I remember him from the Spider-Woman debacle. The note was the same guy. Yeah, it's the same dork, to avoid saying something meaner. Honestly, there are so many good artists. I do not understand why so much bad comic art. Because not everyone is willing to take up the salary that is offered often with comics. Passing around the brain bleach now. Yep. Look, guys, salmons. Salmons are better, right? Yeah, it is incredibly insensitive. Sorry. I think in the case of this artist dude, I would maybe propose the idea that someone over there was really enjoying the artist's art, and they work at Marvel, and they were like, hey, I could maybe get him to do some work for us. And perhaps they were in a position where they could really push that. But it still shows a lot of insensitivity, and it's just stupid, honestly. There are some people who are just like, it didn't affect me, so I don't need to care about it. Yeah, that's just so weird. Been going back to this comic, which is one of my favorite. Well, I say comic, but it's kind of the French version of comics, so it's not exactly the same. It's called Torgal. It's one of the first books that I read when I sort of started going to the library on my own, and I just loved it so much. I've been trying to seek inspiration from it a bit more. Sweet Lord, it's that cover. God, it's awful. It is. It's so bad. Someone was saying that it kind of looks like he drew the character naked and then painted a bodysuit on. And it's kind of really the feel of it. It's disgusting. Maybe it just needed some attention again. Yeah, my first thought was, oh, maybe someone dug up that old art that's kind of really tacky and whatnot. But the thing is even if it was made 19 years ago, 19, 18, well, when it actually happened, he posted it like on this year's 9/11 as a sort of callback. First of all, you don't need to do that. I doubt that anyone who's been through it will ever forget that date and what happened. You have to be a really special human to forget about it, you know. This one doesn't have a lot of grass in it. Hey, 65 sunny day, hi! Didn't affect me, such a dumb attitude. It shaped global politics, economics, cultural development. It affected all of us, definitely. What are some of your favorite comics in terms of artwork? Buxapine says The Max with 2 X's. I have a really vague memory of that. I did a lot of buying of comics just for the art. I think Mike Mignola would be one of those comics where I really like the art. Like Hellboy and everything else that Mignola did. I really like this dude that I showed up, like the dude who did Targal. Ugh, there was a point where nothing nice... Hold on, there was a point where nothing nice to say about Donald Trump, and suddenly Fox News stopping short like, does anyone know how generous this man is? He took in 9/11 survivors and XYZ. Pro tip, no he didn't. Shut the F up. I mean, it's just a steaming pile of lies, regardless of whatever happens. It's like this this thing with QAnon and how they paint him like a secret fighter for against the bad things and that stupid conspiracy. I can't. Did anyone read the comic Lobo? I did not. I don't read a lot of comics, but I like the art in Lock and Key. I don't really read comics mangas, but I do like the art of Beastars. That's lovely. It's a really nice look. Some people generally believe he's a Christ figure. I really don't get it. Did you see that someone, I think we talked about it on Discord, but some parliamentarian in Norway offered Trump's name as a Nobel Prize for Peace. I think I died. Likes the Asterix books. Oh yeah, definitely. It kind of took a weird spin near the end because the Asterix is two guys, is Goscinny and Uderzo, and the one that writes, I never remember which was it, but the writer kind of sadly died before the artist. So the artist kept on going, but he was the one writing them at that point, and that sort of made for a few Asterix titles that were, I would say, really boomer. You know, the bad kind of boomer? That. But the older Asterix books are awesome. I just examine difference. Hey, Melissa! Hi! My social worker is from an IC and a 9/11 survivor. Just, yeah, the worst. Dude. Oh, and Mobius is amazing, but I think that may just be an objective fact. It is. It is an objective fact. Mobius is amazing. Is Trump too handsome for a Nobel Peace Prize? That sounds like someone picked up random pieces of sentence and put them together. Nothing goes with the other stuff in that sentence. My sweetheart was surprised at how different some parts were between the original French and the... Yeah, me too, honestly. I haven't read an English edition of Asterix, but I've heard like bits and pieces of the translation, and it kind of always confuses me. Same for Tintin, which I think you guys call Tintin, and it hurts. It breaks my brain. I remember this book being one of my favorite because it's a bunch of short stories, but they also feature wait, hold on, Frigg's flying cats, which are Siamese cats, and I was obsessed with Siamese cat when I read this book. So I was like, wait, what? And then I cried because one of them gets hurt. But they're fine. They're like magical cats. They'll be okay. Like he comes back here. They're magical cats. They're fine. Apocalyptic bingo chart 2020. Trump being too handsome for Nobel Peace Prize. Anyone? Sorry about the Anglicized pronunciation. It's just so brain breaking because it made me realize that there are apparently sounds that are really difficult for English speaking people to pronounce, like Tintin. Whenever I hear someone who speaks English say Tintin, they say Tintin, and I'm like, it's not the same. No. You remember that? Did you read Torgal as well, Lise? The orange fat man with the white recognize is too handsome. What does that make the rest of us? Saga is beautiful, I agree. What a beautiful comic. Right, I'll go get some supplies for inking. Basically water. I'll be right back. Well, my timing is terrible. I'll have to wait until Mr. E is out of the bathroom because all my painting stuff, like water containers and all, is in the bathroom. Lise, I just asked if you had read these. Did you mean that you'd read these books? Like some of Torgal's book? What was everyone's highlight this week? Alex says spending too much money on Jacksons. Oh, wow. Melissa says mine was getting my youngest son 2 parakeets. Aww. Lee says, my highlight was when my gift from Lana arrived and I actually managed to do a few paintings. I have had no energy for art for too long. So that felt really good. Amisha says, my highlight was spending 3 days with my granddaughter, son, and daughter-in-law. You guys have great highlights. He says, yes, I read Torgal. Yeah! Yes! So you know how awesome it is, right? Oh, it's so good. I remember being really mind blown as a kid when I saw those at the library and I sort of started reading them. I was like, I have to read all of them. Like ASAP. We were in the Netherlands for one afternoon and it was almost normal there. Oh, awesome! The choice of having only one bathroom, isn't it, Amisha? Otto says, I hand dyed my first yarn. Oh, how did it turn out? Mikey says, my highlight was keeping up with my physio all week. Oh, awesome! Yay! Sikabu says, my highlight this week was getting to stargaze at midnight before the smoke rolled in. Ooh. Oh. I think the bathroom has been cleared. Be right back. still drying, but it's looking really good. Turquoise. Oh, lovely. Also battling the fruit fly pandemic in my house. Oh no. Tergal was amazing to me, and I love and actually still love Elf Quest. Yeah. Yeah. I loved it too. It was, I think the art is really old school, like it has that really strong 60s and 70s vibe to it. But it's still kind of, it was really different from everything else, so. Yeah, I'm excited to see the yarn too, Otto. And it says we betrayed our cats. We were in a cat cafe with 8 other cats. One stole the cream from my husband's coffee. Oh, yes, please. Our milestone this week is we still don't have a shower, kitchen, or laundry room, but we do now have tile in all but one of those rooms, and our dishwasher is plugged in. Awesome! And you have cats! And the cats are doing well. Oh no, fudge. I'm back. I hate the whole pizza. Was it good? I miss actual pizza. Though I'm gonna be making a homemade pizza tonight, and I know it's gonna be awesome. Because this is not the first time I do that. But yeah, an actual, like, ordering in a pizza or baking one, like, from the store with cheese on it, that doesn't really happen anymore. I have a scrap of paper. Come on. It's always lovely to spend time with friends, but it's even nicer to be reminded. Oh, that's great. Where did you get the food colorings, Otto? Pineapple and ham. Yes! 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 Team pineapple on pizza. Yeah! And yes, I make my own crusts. It's really easy to do, actually. Oh, homemade dough is amazing. I see you're a woman of culture. I am! Yes! Give me freaking pineapple on my pizza. Oh, I'm glad there's so many fans of that in the chat. I got one set from a cake decorating shop online, and then I saw some other food colorings in a random shop I went to today. So of course I get to get some more. Whoa. Crust recipe. It depends on the yeast you want to use, though. I buy the Fleischmann pizza yeast. It's made for that, and the recipe is on the packets, and that's the one I use. Pineapple and pepperoni, nice. Alas, I am not attacked for liking pineapple on pizza. You You are all disgusting, you pineapple and ham eaters. Oh yeah, definitely. Pineapple and ham pizza is the official pizza of this live stream. Where on earth do you get your pizzas from? Oh, we often have it like for the pineapple. If you can get fresh pineapple, it's even better. But I realized that frozen pineapple is fresh pineapple but frozen, so that's something I have to explore because sometimes fresh pineapple is really not ripe and really not good. But the frozen stuff is amazing. And we often do prosciutto and pineapple, which is basically dry cured ham and pineapple, and it's amazing. We've been abreast for too long. Yes! Yes! Dude, inking with the brush is much harder. An actual brush instead of the brush pen that I'm used to. What is Canadian bacon? Isn't it just thicker bacon? Wait a minute, I have to edit. Pineapple, onion, shroom, bell pepper, artichoke, olives. No carcass or dairy. I like a little bit of carcass on my pizza. I cannot do the dairy, but it's quite nice without the dairy. Pizza adjacent thing. With fresh peaches and goat cheese. That sounds amazing. I would have been really into that if I could still eat cheese. I'm very particular about salty sweet combinations, so I don't know if I would like pineapple on pizza, but I should try it. If you make your own pizza, you can easily, like, if you like pineapple, like, on its own, you could easily, like, just put one piece of it on, like, a corner of your pizza, just to have a bite where you taste it. Yeah, canned pineapple, it's not ideal. Fresh pineapple is much better. My goal in life is to be able to knit a proper fell-out jumper, but I'm not much on it. Yeah, that might be difficult. No tomato sauce. Dip your fries in butter? Really? Huh. Yeah, I mean, the pizza thing, as long as people who don't like it aren't forced to eat it and vice versa, I mean, it's fine. Like, I don't hate on people who don't like pineapple, but I will hate on people who tell me that I'm gross for liking pineapple on my pizza. I'm like, well, if you don't like it, don't eat it. Like, it's the most basic thing. Wait, what? I would really like to try animating, but I don't know if I have the patience for it. Oh my gosh, I know I do not have the patience for it. Dipping fries in ice cream, are you for real, Kevin? Fries in milkshake? Oh my gosh, what? Hey, thank you so much for being here, Patricia. I hope you have a great weekend. I am not a huge tomato sauce fan. Oh, I love tomato sauce, but if you're looking for alternatives, are you, do you eat dairy? What are you limited in terms of diet? Because you can basically put anything you want on a pizza. You could put a pepper sauce if you want and have it with roast beef, I guess, or any kind of spreadable cheese. Just some people just like to put olive oil. Fresh pineapple is food for the gods. If you can get a good fresh pineapple and it's ripe and it's amazing. Scrap. What did I say, Kevin? I forget what I say. I'm pretty sure Canadian bacon is what we call back bacon or pea meal. I don't even know what that is. I know of one sort of bacon, basically. BBQ sauce on pizza. I like it with chicken nuggets or fake chicken nuggets. My life goal at the moment is being able to go to France to see my sweet. Oh, ice cream and fries. Really? Like, I can sort of see it because, in a way, I mean, when you think about it, fries are not that far off from being almost like a donut in a way, if you know what I mean. So I can see why it might surprisingly work with a milkshake or ice cream, because it basically just had something fried to the whole thing, but it's not a combo that I can say I've tried myself. I love pizza with bechamel sauce instead of tomato sauce. That's the thing too. It's a different fatty portion of pig. I think. I don't know, I've been vegetarian since I was 7. Often crushed with cornmeal. What? That's weird. I know of what the French call lardon. But I don't really Ev, when do you choose to do brush and ink versus pen and ink for watercolor drawing? Well, I don't do pen and ink often, honestly. I've been doing brush and ink, whether it's the brush pen or this sort of semi-new combo a lot. I don't ink with my pens a lot lately. I think it's just a question of mood. What do I feel like using? And I've been really into this combo because I have this massive bottle of Chinese ink that is waterproof. I mean, that's 180 ml. That's like so much ink, and it costs like the same price as 4 cartridges for the brush pen. So I'm like, I kind of need to figure out a way to use this better. And like ages ago when I first started drawing, I saw that was what comic book artists were using, so I was trying to emulate that, but back then I didn't know what I was doing, so I had like Schaefer fountain pen ink instead of China ink, and this brush, I'm still using the same brush that I got in a shop of ethnic stuff, if I can say that. It was a couple of dollars, and I was like, oh yeah, cheap brush, awesome, give it to me. So yeah, I personally find that the brush allows you to be a bit more expressive in your lines. Because you have this thick and thin that you can do. Yeah, that's a lot of ink. I want everybody here to try Caturday, which is a special creamy cheese with a very I can't. I mean, not only am I not in Brazil, which kind of is difficult, but it's dairy. I need coffee. It's only F. Oh, you drink coffee that late in the day and you're still fine. Does that ink have a fungus? Oh yeah. It's often the case with India ink or Chinese ink. No, this one doesn't smell too bad, but I know what you mean. Some of them smell kind of like mold or musty. I've had inks like that. This one, it has it just a tiny bit, but I kind of smell the wood of this thing more than I smell the ink. I've had inks that had that musty smell. Oh, I would love to try the cheese that makes a sound, the one in poutine. Oh, cheese curds. Fresh cheese curds. It's usually cheddar. I really love this little thing that I got. I have a bunch of other little vials like that, but it's amazing. If you create your own mix of ink, let's say, you can save it in that and reuse it until it's gone. It's much easier to keep a bit of ink in there than to drop some every time I need it, and I can just cap it when I'm done and it's still good. You need to come over here then, Paulo. With a brush like this, you can also get really nice dry brush effects, which I really enjoy, and it's also so fine. Yes, exactly, moldy smell. I thought it had gone bad. I think it's normal. Or you can try Googling it too, but I think I searched it up once and I read that it's fine. But if you want to make sure, try hitting Google, because it's a common problem with ink, so there's bound to be some sort of more official info out there. Ooh. Hold on. The thing is with China ink is if I'm gonna read chat for a minute or two, I need to clean up my brush so it doesn't dry in there. That ink is not good for brushes. Deep fried pizza though, then sprinkled with sugar and cinnamon. That sounds like a beaver tail. I cleaned my desk near the beginning of COVID and now it's back to looking like it's been years. Oh. So just letting you know about it. Oh, hey, thank you. You said you struggle a bit with the sketch. I think it's better. Like, I struggled and then I erased everything and I started over. And I think this one is a bit more like what the energy that I had in my sketchbook stuff. I might still mess it up. That's always something that can happen. I accept that. We had a really interesting discussion about cold press and hot press in Lee's live stream yesterday, and being able to dry brush with ink is kind of why I like cold press, because you can really make good use of the paper texture to sort of create texture. What was that laugh? That one got away from me. I saw someone on Discord mention that Jensen Ackles was gonna be on The Boys season 3. I saw season 1. I don't really have Amazon Prime at the moment, so I can't really watch season 2, but if if Dean is on season 3, I'll have to watch it. It's gonna be glorious. I kind of want to rewatch the first season of The Boys. For some parts of it that I thought were really funny and great, but some parts of it were really like more difficult to watch. Some of it is really, really sort of bleak, and I think that's kind of the whole point, but yeah. Your laugh makes me happy. Well, I'm glad. That's sort of a redeeming factor, maybe. Oh, guys, I broke myself just this week, and it was so funny. Well, myself. So, context. School has started again, and there's a school not too far from here. So we often have kids that walk by the apartment, and the windows are open because it's still like this is my kind of weather. And yeah, the other day I was working on my stuff and I hear a kid passing by playing the recorder, like, you know, the plastic flute that we've mentioned a few times, that stupid plastic beige flute that is called a recorder, and he was playing it like just for fun, so it was really, really bad. It was really quacky. And that kind of cracked me up, and I was like, haha, because I don't know, recorders make me laugh, especially badly played recorders. they hit home, and the kid passed by playing his recorder, and then a bit further on he stopped, and I was like, huh. And then it was utter silence, and I hear a big loud quack with the recorder, and I started laughing, and I was laughing, and Mr. E turned around and looked at me and was like, why are you laughing? I'm like, did you hear the recorder out there? And he was like, well, I heard the kid passing by with the recorder. And I was like, no, I mean the big quack he did after. Like, he was further on, and all I hear in the distance is quack with this recorder. And I was dead. It really broke me. Recorders make me laugh so much. What a stupid instrument. I was like, this is a kid after my own heart. Is there such a thing as a well-played recorder? I've never heard one. I sure as all things, I've never played it so well. That kid heard you laughing and decided to go with it. Maybe so, but it was great. Good kid, he has no idea. Oh, he absolutely has no idea. It was really reminiscent of, if you guys remember that time that I was streaming and 3 people passed by whistling in unison, and that also killed me. Because it was like, what the heck? There are pro recorder players. Are you what? It's like giving a kid plastic paintbrushes and expecting something beautiful. Oi, don't knock down the recorder. I love it. I absolutely love the recorder. Because it's so easy to play it bad, and badly played recorder is hilarious. It's one of the funniest thing around, in my opinion. The recorder itself is not stupid. I call it stupid because my memories of having one are really bad memories. So it's associated with like the stupid recorder, but I love it when it's badly played. Like all the badly played recorder versions of songs. They're amazing. A whole classroom of recorders is like that scene in SpongeBob where Squidward gets blasted out by his bandmates who was trying to teach. I haven't watched much of SpongeBob. The kid was like, why do I hear uncontrollable laughing? And I'm an oboist, so I know horrible sounding instruments. Yeah, they... I don't know if it's like that for you guys in your schools, but for us here, when you graduate primary school, like basically when you enter a high school at what, 12, 13, they graduate you to another instrument than the recorder, and there's like this the school has a selection of actual instruments like clarinets, the flute thingy, guitars, drums and all that, trombones, trumpets, like actual instruments. And instead of having you play on the recorder, you end up playing one of those. And yeah, I was with the clarinet, and no hate on the instrument, but I'm not good at music, and I hated playing the clarinet. And I know you can make some pretty awful sounds with that one too, like really, really quacky sounds. But the recorder is amazing for what it can do. Like, it can sound good, but it can be amazingly bad too. So yeah, recorders. I wish though that music was not as obligatory as it was when I was in school. Like, I couldn't, for so many years I had no other choice but to have music as an art class. There was no options, like it was music, and if you suck at it, well, too bad. And I was like, well, if I could have picked, art class like drawing or anything else but music, because I love listening to music, but I can't play it to save my ass. So it's I play the clarinet. No, I said no hate on the instrument, but I couldn't play it well. And I did a lot of quacky sounds on purpose with my clarinet. When you're either like blowing it too hard or too suddenly or whatnot, and it makes these quacking sounds. I call it the sound of exasperation. Because, oh man, I hate it. I hated that I was forced to it. Like I couldn't choose what I wanted, and all the cool instruments they were given to people who could already play them. Because let's face it, the music teacher is not gonna teach some random kid how to play the guitar in a class setting. Like, no way. Played flute, piccolo. Oh, nice. I didn't have music and art, not in high school. The first time I was able to choose between them was when I reached 3rd grade of high school. But for 2 years, I had to suffer through mandatory music classes, and I hated it so much. It was like the artist exam I would have to study for were music. I would have to study much harder for a music exam than I would for a math exam. Because I had to just learn it all by heart. I couldn't make sense of it. Then 3rd grade of high school, they finally let us choose, and I picked arts. And then 4th grade and 5th grade, I picked science classes. Because that opens doors. School is stupid. The way school is set up, it's pretty dumb. I was actually good at music class. Oh, that's great. There's gotta be people who are good at it just to compensate for people who are absolutely awful, like I am. What? Hold on. Otto, you were told you were cheating for memorizing the... Who told you that? Who told you that? I've played recorder, transverse flute, tiny bit of bass. Is it the one we called flûte traversière in French? Like it's the silver, it's usually like in silver metal, and you hold it like on the side, kind of. But I was once reading a random book and it showed sheet music color coded by what? Yeah, oh my gosh, why wasn't that a thing? I had mandatory music till college. Oh, I'm so sorry, Cyan. Yuck. It's really not nice to the kids who are not naturally good at this. It's so stressful. It's really stressful when you think about it, because you're like, you get stressed out about passing a class that you don't enjoy, and you're like, I don't want to flunk because of that stupid class. Like, how bad would that be? I remember the one time I was able to take arts as an optional class. I had so much fun. It was for only 1 year, because after that I picked chemistry and biology and physics, and then like same thing again the last year. Yep, all my music teacher made music. What? That's stupid. What terrible people you've happened on. Like you don't see when you go to a concert, like a rock concert, you don't see the musician picking out like sheet music. Most of the concert, they've learned it by heart. What is wrong with those teachers? Reading music is rather easy. Honestly, Paulo, it's not. It's really, really not. I could never make sense of it either. If it was only a question of practice, we would have all made it in school probably. Like it would have been much easier, but no matter how much I tried, I don't think I have dyslexia, but I could never at first glance figure out where the note was exactly. So if I couldn't identify where the note was, I could not know what it was, you know. If you can, if it's easy for you to read, you have a, that's a blessing. Well, yeah, you can play by ear if you have a good ear, but if you have a really awful ear and you can't read the notes to save your butt. Sorry, cat butt. Aw, cat butts. A pox on Otto's music teacher. Yeah, a pox on them and a posse if they show up again. We're gonna kick their butts with recorders. I remember my recorder music class teacher being so at a loss for a solution when she would see me. Like I would be able to play the first few notes I had learned by heart, and then I would just put my recorder down and listen to the other kids, and I would be like super happy to listen to the other good kids. And the teacher was like, "Why did you stop playing?" I'm like, "I can't follow this anymore. I learned all the notes up to there, but when we get to this point, I cannot read it, understand what it is, and then do the movement with my fingers. Like these things are not associated really." Paula says, "I'm talking from my experience, and I started really old and got humiliated by having class." That's really sucks. No one should be humiliated for like wanting to learn something. But it's the thing, like there's a difference between having zero knowledge and being able to learn. Like you still had that potential in you to learn this stuff, but some of us just cannot make sense of it or figure it out. Like it's also a possibility that you don't have the potential for that, but you have the potential for something else. Whether it's stuff like dyslexia or just, you know, memory, whatnot. One of the most celebrated recent Danish composers had dyslexia and couldn't read sheet music at all. By the time he started to get celebrated, no one knew that about him. Oh, that's really cool. Make their ear bleeds through amazing recorded music. Yeah. You know, the thing you've always wanted to do as a kid in music class is to blow as hard as you could in your recorder and do like a finger dance on it with no rhyme or reason. Yep. That's me in math. I have like a 4th grade. Yeah, that's a thing. Like I would do much better in maths than I would do in music. choir my hubs isn't ask you to do a sight reading piece in the audition. However, if you can, they let you listen to... Oh, that's pretty cool. Geniuses. Paolo says, I am a firm believer that people can learn with work, but I am not talking about people with disabilities. Even those I know they can learn, they just need a good teacher. The thing is they need a good teacher and they need to want to learn too. Like, that's kind of I agree with you for most things, because that's kind of what I think in general about art too. But with art, it's perhaps a bit more easy to have room for personal style and interpretation. Like, sometimes you would see people who are like, oh, I want to paint, but I can't draw. And you're like, well, you don't really need to be able to draw to paint. If you just do it, you know. And I think that's not as easy with music, because you kind of have to be able to use the instruments, like to use the tool. And I feel like with art, you can pick up a brush and figure it out on your own. You don't need to learn as much theory, or like how to use a brush is pretty straightforward. I'm talking about people. Yeah, if you want to learn something, you can eventually learn it, of course. But if you have a really mild interest in it, like me in music classes, and then you struggle learning it, it's not a good incentive. It doesn't make you want to invest time in it. Like, but I'm not even enjoying this, so why should I spend so much time? I'm gonna figure out this math problem instead. My baby brother is studying to be a high school music teacher, basically to prevent cruddy experiences for a student. He's one of those think outside the box teaching type. Oh, I hope he makes it. We need more of those people. Honestly, it would have made a big difference. Ew. Someone just passed by the window smoking. Blech. Oh, that's not a great smell. Yuck. I would love to learn to sing though. Are you able to carry a note? Yeah. I actually didn't like art in school. I picked it only later life. This happens sometimes. Yeah. Like, I mean, I the one thing I wanted to learn, even if I would have been terrible at it, but that's the one thing I wanted to learn, was the guitar. And I asked my parents about it. I was like, hey, I would really like to learn this. And they basically told me, I'm gonna paraphrase because that's not exactly how they said it, but they basically said, you're terrible at music. We're not gonna pay lessons for you to be awful at the guitar. And I was like, oh. But that's the one I would have loved to, like, even if I was terrible in music in general, I feel like with guitar I would have made more of an effort because I was interested in it, you know. It had some appeal. While I had no interests in learning how to play the clarinet, let's say. It just wasn't appealing to me. Cannot carry a tune in a bucket. Same. Oh my gosh, same. Doesn't stop me from singing on my own sometimes, but I know it's god awful. Okay, so I'm going to say this was it for all. Effort and desire does not equal success in anything if the person has a disability that gets in the way. Definitely. Yeah, that's Paulo said that. He said that if someone wants to learn and has no disability, wanting to learn makes it a lot easier to actually learn the thing, even if you start from zero. I can carry a note straight to the nearest trash can. Yep, pretty much. But yeah, if there's a disability in the mix, that's a completely different thing. I hate people say that crap because I grew up listening to people telling me I was lazy and wasn't trying hard enough when I was trying so hard. Yeah, that was kind of the feeling of the music class, you know. They would be like, "You're not trying," you know, and I'm like, I did, and I don't care. I'm not. This is not where I want to spend my energy. We all have a limited amount of energy, and it's completely useless for me to spend it on this thing that I know I'm god awful at. Give me art classes instead. My parents made me prove I would make an effort at cello by reliably practicing piano. So I did, but again didn't learn. Just played the same wrong notes over and over again until my time was up. Oh no. Yeah, lumpy elephant. I call it too. So, what are your cats been up to, guys? Mine are sleeping in the kitchen. They each have their chair. Hey, Otto, were you there when I talked about Scoot's new habit of waking me up when I make weird sounds when I'm sleeping? It's really funny to wake up and, like, the first thing you see is a big turkey face with big eyes. It's looking at you, like, really intently. Like, wait, what? What are you doing there, cat? And before you realize, she's gone. I'm craving Doritos. I don't have enough cats. Well, you have a grand total of 0 cats, right? But you have 2 bunnies. That's a different advantage. Bunnies always look so soft and fluffy. Squish is like this odd cousin of watercolor. Is it, right? It's a bit between acrylic for the opacity only, and then watercolor, because if you dilute gouache, you can get really nice transparent colors. But if you layer gouache, you have to be really quick about it because it's gonna reactivate and become all muddy. So it's a weird way to work. Haven't seen the crawlspace kitty, but there is a garage cat across the alley. Oh! Maybe crawlspace kitty got rehomed. Dexter from the other room. Hello? I just want you to know that I'm mad, but I don't want to talk about it, okay? Just so you know. I'm hungry too, just so you know. Tsikabu says, my mom the other day woke up to her orange tabby's butt right in her face first thing in the morning, then stepped in cat puke on the floor. Yeah, that's a rough morning. That's a really rough morning. All right. Should be back. Yay, sorry about that. My internet hiccuped and then that made the streaming software fart and... Right. Who touched the paperclip? I have a bit of an echo. Oh no, poop. Oh wait, no, that's... Is there still echo on the audio? I don't hear echo. I think they both left. Heap. Make sure people with echo, this is the basic thing, but make sure you don't have two windows open with the live stream in them. Birds are really hard to draw, honestly, because, well, one of the places I like to start when drawing birds is by looking at the skeleton, because sometimes you realize that the things are not what they seem, because all you see is floof and feathers, but when you look at the skeleton, you realize, oh, under all that floof, there is a really, really long neck that goes this way. And that sort of helps understand how the animal moves. Should have called lumpy elephant earlier. We should have, but it kind of it came on really quickly, so just one of those days, I guess. I hear a teeny amount of reverb, but it's minimal. Sorry. I really don't know what could be causing the reverb. How dry is this? I suck at painting people and anything with a heartbeat. Aww. Blame the reverb on barometric pressure. Darn you, pressure! Whenever whoever says like something like I suck at this or that, oh, that tree is really stupid looking. What a dumb tree. I always want to reply like it's not. That's a thing that can be improved on. Like that's something that can be made better. It's not something that has to stay that way if you don't want it to stay that way. If that makes sense. Yes, I used this brush. I don't know what it is. It's Chinese brush of some sort. I've had this one for a really long time. I think it used to have a cap on it, like a bamboo cap. And that's been lost for a really long time now. So, yeah. No problem with sound, but I did have to restart. Oh, maybe that's it. Hey, welcome back. That's had more than I can draw. Improvement takes a lot of time, honestly. Like you try and 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 it just takes. It's sort of measurable. The more terrible drawings you do, the closer you are to getting better at stuff. And it's just seeking like enjoyment in it anyway. Why did I use the brush instead of a pen or a pointed pen? Do you mean like a nib? I kind of love the brushes because I can get really, really small lines and then have some thick and thin going on really easily. And I have a much easier time to control a tiny brush than a pen nib because this one has no direction. A pen nib, you kind of have to use it always in a certain angle so it creates the pretty lines, but a brush you can use it 360 degrees and it's all good. It is hard to see your own improvement. And yeah, what science says about filling sketchbooks with stuff, that's also when I saw an ease in drawing. Like it became a bit less of a struggle when I stopped caring about it. I had one of my multiple sketchbooks and I picked an ink pen and I just started drawing like stuff as fast as I can. You don't really think, you just try to, like I would look at my page and if I was thinking like, okay, a surprised person, well, I would try to represent that as quickly as possible, and that has really helped me understand things. And I know that's not what people want to hear, but it's sadly the only way that things get easier. It's by being really obstinate with it. Lines get today. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, the brush I use can make some really thinner lines than the brush pen. That's interesting to that. I just shattered my paint water cup and stood on a shard. Oh my gosh, Kevin. How bad is it? Make sure you clean that up and put a band-aid on it. It's refreshing to hear your art learning philosophy get detached from specific outcomes. You guys are so kind. I'm fine, I realize that what is gonna happen. Okay, it's only a small cut. Okay, phew. But still, make sure it's clean and good. Because you don't want to have pigment stuck in there. So, yeah, I think in terms of art, I'm someone who has struggled a lot and is still struggling a lot for many reasons. I fall to comparison way too often, which is terrible and not a good way to go forward. And then I have many friends, like I've always had friends around me who could draw too. We all draw, so there's none of that, ooh, it's special thing going on. Like it's not special to be drawing for me, it's just what it is. And yeah, and I went through many phases of being absolutely uninspired, but I would still be so stressed out about not improving that I kept doodling anyway. I was like, this is not what I want, this is nothing, this is like 30 pages of faces, like it's stupid stuff, but I'm still working on something at least. And that kind of helped me from completely falling down. We don't need a Jake Parker inking book, we need a F. Bolt How to Ink book. Oh my gosh, it would be one page. Grab some ink, grab some inking tool, practice. There you go, that's my book. Inadvertent tattoo. Yeah, you're gonna have a small line tattooed on your foot now. if there's any pigment in there. And yeah, so like I said, and even though Ev won't be shady, oh my gosh, I won't be copying it for someone else, that's for sure. But yeah, the thing I did recently was to try and remember. I went back to those Torgal books I've mentioned and kind of looked at them, and I don't want to draw that realistically, but there's something in there too that I remember really liking when I started reading them, so it was to sort of find that and just doing the same with everything. I didn't feel anything, I'm just weak laughing right now. My teaching style is very much like that do it, just do it guy. Yeah, pretty much. Shia LaBeouf has the right energy to him. It's not gonna happen unless you keep going at it. Because Amisha says, I know there's no magic bullet, I just wish something in my brain would click and I'd at least understand what I'm doing wrong. It's sort of two parts. One part is drawing from reference a lot. Even if it's not good drawing, it doesn't have to be good drawing from reference, but just making the effort of drawing what you see. Sometimes like you will pick up a detail here or there, and that might help you add to your bank of imagery in your head. And then when you doodle something from memory and something is wrong about it and you're like, what is wrong? You might remember one of those tidbits you grabbed and be like, oh yeah, I remember when I did this study of a face, I remember the eye was more like this. And then you try to incorporate that into your drawing. And it doesn't have to be a realistic study of a face. Like, let me just... Do I have a reference of something nearby? Let me find something quickly. Face. Just face. Okay, so hold on. So let's say you want to draw a face like this, okay? I picked up the first face I saw. So if I were to draw that, my notes would be like, try to see like what the angle is of the head. If you compare it to like someone who is facing you fully, that's gonna be like nose, eyes, mouth. And if someone is fully profiled, then you're gonna have like eyes, nose, mouth, okay? So I'm trying to figure out where in between those two this face is. And a good way to start, I would start by a circle, and then I would try to figure out that angle. And then I would prolonge it a bit, just because that's, like a face is generally an egg. And then I would just like it doesn't have to be good, it just has to be something that you, okay, so we see both nostrils, you write that in. And then you are like, okay, the eye is like this, and the shape of the face is, it's just notes, you know. Doesn't have to be good, it just has to be something that your brain can then process and incorporate. And then when you sort of do a bunch of those, you will pick up on patterns and how something like how usually like the bone structure will have an indent near the eye, and then it will protrude back out. Skillshare classes on backgrounds, one lesson, one project. Cue video of Ev doing the Shia LaBeouf thing. Do it! Just do it! Aphantasia and memory drawing don't work. I know, that's why I'm really more on the aphantasia side of things than the memory side of things, which is why I sketch so much. Because it's sort of, it doesn't go into my brain memory, it goes into my muscle memory. And that's really handy. And then I can sort of, when I sketch in my sketchbook, it's basically notes. So I just do a bunch of notes, and then I can correct my notes and revisit my notes and do some research if I need it, and supplement with everything that my brain doesn't have in memory. We need to jiff it and do it! I tend to get thrown off by notes as how much to draw. Well, you have to practice them. Like you basically can take a spare sheet of paper and just in a few lines you draw the nose, and you bring it to a certain level and you try to see, oh, that's too many lines, I have to go back from that. Or, oh, that's not enough detail, I have to add more. Making eyes match look the same is really, really hard too. Like, none of it is easy. Another thing you can do to sort of get your muscle memory going is you grab a magazine, any magazine you want. Oh, I need a brush. Come on, brushes. Where is it? Where is it? Where are you, brush? I don't want to fall. Please don't fall. Where did I put it? Where are you? Is that you? Oh, that's it. Found it. Yeah, so what I was saying is a good way to get that muscle memory going is you grab a magazine, any magazine, and you grab a pile of tissue paper. Like tracing paper, sorry, not tissue paper, though tissue paper might work. And say you want to get better at faces, you put the tracing paper on the face in the magazine, and you draw over the features. Just to sort of get your brain to see the shapes, the details, what is where, the structure of things. That's a really efficient way of learning that stuff too, in my opinion. I can find my tubes of Daniel Smith Sleeping Beauty and Kingman Turquoise watercolor paints. Oh, Pain of my existence eyes. That's how I figured out nose, honestly. I had the hardest time understanding, like I know how a nose is made. Like, if you gave me clay, I could probably, recreate a nose. But visualizing it in my head, I had the hardest time until I did that exercise of putting tracing paper and trying to search by myself how I could understand the structure of the nose. And that's when it made sense. I found doing that with shopping cart images. Yeah, because it's tracing sort of removes the influence of the part of your brain that is like, I know how this thing is made. It's like, I know what a cube is like. So if you have a cube in an angle and you try to draw it exactly, then you have sort of a conflict between what your eyes see and what your brain knows. But if you trace it and then you look at the tracing and you try to see the shapes for what they are, that sort of helps bridge the two in a way. My sketchbook is full of bad practices, like nightmare-inducing. Oh, same. Tried to draw small and it made me crazy. Finally, I changed reference. smiles are really, really hard to draw because it's so subtle in a face, like the volumes of things. So if you had too much accents, it's gonna look like the person is a billion years old, or like is sort of has a Joker smile going on, if that makes sense. Why did I start with this color? You guys are distracting me. A sketchbook is called a sketchbook, not a portfolio. Best advice I got. I agree. Definitely. Some people have really beautiful sketchbooks, but yeah, that's something else. That's not what I would call a sketchbook, personally. If there are no complete duds in my sketchbooks, I'm not drawing briefly enough. Yes. Because those kind of sketchbook colors, yeah. I find it a bit silly that CalArts demands such a thorough sketchbook, because it's like it's no longer a sketchbook as much if it's full of that kind of stuff, you know. I think that in terms of sketchbook, the stuff starts being interesting when you kind of lose patience. That's when I saw a big, like, an ease. Huh, funny. I don't think the ink is fully dry on this paper yet. Oh, that's interesting. It was dry enough that I could erase on top of it, but it kind of looks like it's reacting to the ink a bit, to the paint a bit. Yeah, CalArts is a bit silly. Especially, like, I don't know what kind of job they expect the students to be able to have after that, but it's not like art jobs are super high paying jobs. Like, you basically have to go into the animation industry if you want to be able to pay back your school loans, I guess. Don't ask me what I'm doing with the colors here. I'm just doing whatever. Yeah, there's definitely some black ink that seeps through the colors. That's weird. Could be the paper I'm using too. Lee says, I think there's a self-fulfilling thing where people look at sketchbook videos and then try to replicate them or make them pretty because it's an application. But that's not necessarily what the admission peoples are looking for. Yeah. And also gotta keep in mind that the people who do the admissions are humans. So they might have a bias at times too. Mystery of the hiding watercolor tubes. So keep in mind the average age of CalArts applicants. They're all very young though, that's a bit depressing. I got sometimes with bit weird really? I had a few weird comments, but I usually just don't really care about them because it's often stuff that I'm like, yeah, okay, sure, but if that's what you want to see, that's not what I'm gonna do, so find another artist you like. There's so many artists, you don't have to look at my stuff if you don't like it. It's weird because I'm fairly sure I've painted other things that I've inked with the India ink, the Chinese ink, and it didn't bleed like that. Perhaps I kind of gave it a bit more time so it wouldn't bleed. Look at that, that's really like bleeding gray into my stuff. That's weird. Huh, I'm kind of glad I did this practice piece. I'm trying the Winsor & Newton cold press paper. That's not my usual Arches paper. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to draw as a scene. The cat is technically releasing the salmon. Doesn't really show, so if it's not that successful, I can just redraw it. That they are too sketchy, why don't you finish anything and why don't you... Why don't you keep them clean? Oh my gosh, it's a sketchbook, guys! I guess they were really expecting like... Oh, have you guys seen that? Kellex Loop. Super talented artist. But he has a sketchbook tour and every page is a finished painting. That's not a sketchbook, dude. That's like an art book because it's a book full of art. It's not a book full of sketches. Can we just... They're too sketchy, excuse me, but it's called the sketchbook for a reason. Exactly! Like, come on. Sketchbook data dump. Exactly. That's what I would call mine, definitely. It's idea dump, data dump, research. I really like reading about aphantasia. Really helped me understand a few things, because I would see that often, like people would say, oh, you do this and then you build it in your memory bank in your brain, and I was like, but the thing is when I never have that clear an image in my brain. I have to sketch it out and figure it out in details in my sketchbook. And when I read about aphantasia, I was like, I feel like I am not fully there, but there's a lot of things that resonated with me and helped me understand better my process, and that it was okay to have this process. And that no, I don't have to have art books instead of sketchbook. There's sketchbooks, fine. It is successful on YouTube. Oh, thank you. Phew. I think that just sucks terribly in the amount of times a week people say just picture and explaining that I can't. Yeah, I don't make a big fuss of it, because I know that if someone says, oh, picture this, I will either ask a bunch of questions to clarify the kind of setup they mean. Like, I will not necessarily have the image in my head, but I will have the understanding of the image. And then yeah, that also helped me figure out that when I still need to consume a lot of imagery to have an idea bank, not as much as an image bank, but an idea bank. It can be something I saw, like I would be like, oh, I remember I saw that costume that I really liked, so I will like sketch a pose, and then I will go back to the image I had saved of the costume and do studies with the thing in front of me, so that it's much easier to, I don't have to have memory of how the thing looked. I have the reference, I can just go get the reference. I got told once I needed to use a darker pencil so they could read what I write in my sketchbook. What the oh my gosh, Otto, you've had to deal with such weird people. What the heck? Dude, if I had that kind of comment, I would grab a black pencil and I would write like crude words in there. Absolutely crude words. Not disgustingly crude, but like childish crude, if you know what I mean. I'm like, you want to read my notes? There you go. How do you like it now? I'm a business analyst by trade, and oh my goodness, I'm like, let's draw a picture. Yeah, that's the thing I like with sketchbooks and whatnot, is that if your idea in your head is really not visual, you can basically just try the first thing that you think you want to do, and then when you see it, you can correct it. You can be like, oh, okay, I see what I want to do, but I realize that this angle might not be the best. What if I put the camera like there in the scene instead? And then you can sort of try to draw what that would be. You don't have to do all the work in your brain. You can do all the work on the paper. Oh yeah, Science says I've gotten a habit to just delete them on my channel. Definitely. I'm also like, if I get that kind of stuff, I just delete it. Or sometimes I will say like the usual, like, if you don't like this, like it's often sometimes like, this is what I do. If you don't like it, there are so many other artists you can go watch. Feel free to do so. I'm sorry, but it's my sketchbook, and I will do what I do what I want to do with what tools I want to. Exactly. Like, you make sure that your sketchbook has a penis on every page somewhere. Like just a badly drawn one. So like, yeah, you wanna look through my sketchbook, have fun. I have to do tons of guests. Yeah, exactly. Our Tyler was annoyed that I had to see how he was going to lay them out, and I got sassy. I asked him if it's Squalbish the Fluent yet. Oh, I hope the dogs will be okay. The smoke seems to be pretty bad. I hope you guys will be okay too, Tsukabu. It's a good thing everyone has masks, right? Good grief. That's not PGF. Yeah, but I mean, they asked for it. They want to look at it, then they will look at it, and whatever it contains. And it doesn't have to be like a full page of it. Like, say you would have a page like this, and you just draw a tiny one over here. Oops, can't see. Let's say this is my page of sketch that the person is sort of checking. I would like draw just it there. And then on the next page there would be another one here. And then, oh, another one here. And, oh, next page. Another penis. Just to be like, oh yeah, you need, and in dark pencil, because that's what they were complaining about, right? Love how that background is looking. Oh, I'm glad. I'm trying stuff, though I'm a bit still nonplussed about the ink that's leaching off everywhere. I really hope that these other drawings I have done with the same ink, but that will have days to dry before I paint them. I hope I won't run into the same issue. Just a saggy set of balls in the corner. Too, because everyone deserves a friend. Exactly. That's an excellent occasion to troll someone. Oh my gosh. I love seeing your sketchbook pages. Oh, thank you. You were fortunate that it wasn't too many pages of me copying other artists, because that, I mean, I do it, I don't care, but I try not to show it. So it kind of feels weird when I'm flipping through a sketchbook and there's some copies of other like artists in there, and I'm like, sorry about that. Don't review before filming sketchbook. Oh, of course not. And you add a sort of a subliminal image or like a quick image that says, can you count the number of peni in this? I have to go. Have a nice hey, have a nice weekend, you too, Susan. Should each one look different? Each one what? Each peni? Yeah, I mean, do whatever you want. Be creative. Sorry. It makes me laugh. So that says a lot. It is a dumb site. The sketchbook is a dumb site. Like, look, in my sketchbook now I have these bad drawings of the bad Milo Manera art. And salmons. And like, I wrote with my pen on this, and I take notes, and there I drew a cookie. And yeah, it's just whatever. There's no good or bad way to sketch. It's just a sketchbook. We're having a spot the worm and potato. Nice way of putting it, definitely. I'm glad you guys understand. try setting it. I didn't sell that earlier, but yeah, I might try it. If when I paint the other ones I've drawn, if I see that the ink lifts, I will do two things. I will either heat set this one with the blow dryer I have somewhere, and then I will check to make sure if that also happens on Arches paper. Because I did draw a thing in a sketchbook, though I don't know what paper is in that sketchbook. Oh, there it is. Hey, Squidgy! Salut! Qu'est-ce que tu fais, ma minette? Tu t'en allais au soleil? Ouais. So yeah, I painted these with the same ink and didn't bleed at all. Like, not one bit. Who knows? Yeah, I found my biggest talent. Snarky, slightly perverted flair. Easter eggs. Yeah, Chinese ink is usually waterproof, definitely. So that's why I'm a bit surprised. Like, how can it be dry enough for me to be able to erase on top of it, but then when I bring in water, it kind of reactivates a bit? That's just weird. I'll have to experiment more. Oh, guys, stop it. This is practice, 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 practice. All the practice, always. If you want to practice a lot, start a YouTube channel. With the live streams and all the demo paintings I do, I've really been drawing and painting a lot more. So it helps. Maybe I did not dry for long enough. Yeah, maybe. That's what I'm gonna see with the other things I have inked with the same ink. Like, they will have had days to dry instead of like 20 minutes. So we'll see. Ah, thank you, Otto. Gee. Thanks, Jill. Ah, Otto. Well, thanks, guys. You guys are way too kind. I present exhibit A above. Thank you, guys. I'm gonna be as red as that salmon if you keep it up. Aww. You're way too kind. I'm gonna grab a cat to provide a distraction if you keep that going. Jerry. So this sketchbook is reserved for our still life, like a pool noodle and 2 volleyballs, also bananas and 2 tangerine. And then in case I'm not there. I'm pretty sure I've mentioned it before, but when I was studying graphic design, there were a group of guys in the class who, I don't know why, but they would always spend break time drawing pinaille on the blackboards. Like mostly with bad puns, like they would paint like a rooster that would be part rooster, part something else, and just write cock under it because hey, or like draw a whale and it's not exactly just a whale, you know, that kind of stuff. So it was both really creative and really immature, but I still think that was funny. We find it offended if both guilty of being a super awesome talented artist as well as oh geez, stop it. How am I supposed to react to that? Aside squirming on my chair that you cannot see. Stop us good. Stop us go, bibisha. I feel a certain they're fine out. They were really well rendered drawings too, on chalkboards or whiteboards. It would be super weird to enter a class and sit down for the class and look at the front of the room and see that on the board and be like, oh, so and so has been here. I see. Ah non, tu vas tomber. Tu vas tomber. I think Scout wants to be the star for a minute or two. Let's see if I can bring her on. Viens-tu voir? Qu'est-ce que tu fais? Attends, une minute. Hop. Viens-tu voir? Ouais. Tiens, gros baby. There you go, big baby. There you go. Big tuna. Hey, good night, Cyan. Oh, you want my chair. So this is what you want. You want only my chair. You don't want to say hi. You just wanted my chair. Yep, she just wanted to steal my chair, but she's like, Mom, my blankie is not on this chair. Mom, put my blankie on the chair. Ça, tu veux? Tu veux ta couverte? Ah, yes, hein. Oh, oui, tu veux ta couverte. Allez, allez, hop. Oh, tu ronronnes tout plein. T'es cute. Oh. She's purring so loud. She's so happy. Oh my gosh, it's fairly obvious by now, right? To provide a bit of context, someone posted a picture of their cat, or video, and there is a glass on the side on the floor, and there are like treats at the end of the glass, and the cat uses their paw to like bring the treats out of the glass and eat them. And and I commented and I was like, oh, your cat is very clever. I was like, one of mine would probably push the glass around with her face until something fell out. And Otto correctly guessed that I was referring to Peko. I love how you speak to Scout. It sounds like purring. Aw. She is purring right now. She's super happy. She has the chair with the blanket she likes on it. And I'm petting her. She's less happy about that. But she's way too cute. C'est bien trop mignonne, Minette. Gros pipi. Scout is a tiny bit more clever. Like, she can open doors with her paw and pick up things with her paw. Like, she uses her paw a bit more. Pico doesn't understand that she can use her paw for stuff. She uses her face for everything. Cat stuff I've learned this week. I didn't realize how very different two cat purrs can be. Yeah, definitely. I have two cats, as you know. Pico will purr really loudly, as you can probably attest. And Scout purrs too, but you really have to put your ear on her to hear it. She's not, like, loud. Anyway, that's gonna be the end of the stream, so I don't have a chair anymore. I cannot paint. The cat has literally stolen my chair. Dante uses his face too. Aww. Emerald whisper purrs, and you can literally hear Bear from 2 rooms away. I love listening to you sweet talk kitties in lumberjack French. It is what it is, right? Oh non, j'ai donné un choc. Oh non, un autre choc. Oh, pauvre Scooty. Apparently gerbils also purr. Oh, really? Whoa. So, thanks everyone for being here today. I hope you have a great weekend. If you want to keep chatting and discussing with us, we have a Discord server set up that you can join. It's free, it's fun, and we have a bunch of different discussions going on over there. And there's a bunch of links in the description. If you have any questions, you can comment, you can reach out to me, not a problem, never a problem. And hopefully you guys will have a great weekend, considering it's 2020, so as good as possible. And we will see each other next Caturday. Next Saturday there's going to be another stream. Same time, same place, hopefully. And I want to say a great big thank you to everyone for being here, and a special thank you to Otto and Lise for being the moderators and always being on point with the links and all of that. So I really appreciate it. I mean, chair theft is one of the best excuses I've heard this month, because I too wouldn't dare take the chair back. I'm glad you understand. I'm really glad you do. Yeah, if you guys have any more questions regarding art tips or whatnot, I can ramble about that. Not a problem. You just gotta keep in mind that that's my perspective on it, so it's not absolute, definitely not. But if it can help, I'll happily ramble about this stuff. So have a great weekend. Have a great weekend, guys. Take care, and see y'all next time. Bye. Hold on, I'm gonna see. Can I do it? There you go. There you see the tuna face. It's a melted tuna. What's it called? A tuna melt. That's it. She's a tuna melt. Look at it. She's melted. T'es toute fondue. Toucans.